Hello people, it is Swith, and this is another PL video. I didn't want to leave Aggie hanging since he has made one and as of yet nobody else has. So please forgive my voice. As most of you know, I am recovering from my second surgery for my thyroid, which is now gone. Yay! I had a lot of questions come in through Telegram, actually, and most of them were pertaining to personal matters, because people are worried and people care, and I'm very grateful that you all do care. And I'm not going to answer all of them because some of them, Google would be your friend, and I'm just a terrible Google. I'm no substitute for it. I rely upon it myself. So, in a nutshell, wrapping up every question and trying to compile it into one easy answer. I'm fatigued all the time because I don't have my thyroid anymore. It's completely gone now. And a thyroid, which is a gland in your endocrine system, produces two hormones that are essential for the rest of your body. You cannot metabolize. Your metabolism is completely screwed up, actually, if you do not have these two specific hormones that kickstart other things. So without them, I have a problem with blood pressure and heart rate and digestion and most specifically the mind. I live in fog land. I'm foggy all the time. And it's rather difficult to even remember my phone number, let alone keep track of stuff online. So I'm offline a lot of the time, and it's not because I'm avoiding people. It's just because I have this overwhelming fatigue that completely takes control of my life. And basically, my body is running my life right now. My mind has no say in the matter, other than to try and be supportive to my body. Now, the answer to this, of course, would be to take Synthroid. Yeah, and thank you for all those suggesting it. I'm aware of Synthroid. The reason why I'm not is because we're gearing up for my radioactive iodine treatment. The thyroid has a natural need for iodine, so it's the only part of the body that collects and retains it. And I have to spend some time flushing the iodine out of my body and flushing out the latent hormones that would disrupt the treatment process. So once those are done, they'll give me the iodine pill, and then it's digested, and if there is any latent thyroid tissue still in my body, the iodine will be collected by it and consumed by it. And that's where the radiation comes into play, because now that iodine consumption is going to end up killing that cell, any thyroid cells. So, yay for radiation. I'm really hoping I get superpowers out of it, but I don't think I will, which is kind of a bummer. But until that happens, I'm still going to be at the same state that I am now, and it will decline. My health is going to decline. It's expected. It's not the end of the world. It's going to get worse, and I can accept that. I'm completely on board with that. But I've had questions regarding fatigue and my hours and, why do you feel this way? And I know it is hard to understand because most of you are young and you have aches and pains, or you're tired after a long day's work, but you've never experienced chronic fatigue. And GT actually came up with a good analogy. He said, is it like plugging in your phone to charge, and after 8 hours you're only at 30%? And that's actually a very good way of looking at it, because I plug in, and no matter how much sleep I get, I'm going to function as if I only have regained 30% of my energy. And as the days, because it is a daily thing that I'm feeling going down and down, as the days progress, I only charge to 20% and only charge to 10%, and it gets worse. So I don't foresee taking a long absence from PL or from nation states, but I do foresee where I get to the point where I'm hardly in the forums, and I'll do most of my communication either by IRC if I can have it running, or else I'll do it by Telegram, and that's not to avoid people. Nation states is very important to me right now because it is an outlet. I cannot do all the things I used to do, obviously, so I spend my time on nation states, and my form of escape has always been writing. That's just my way of checking out for a while, and I find that after I've spent time writing something and focusing on that, I'm able to have a clearer head to focus on the real life things that are important to me. And this brings up you guys. This is where you guys come into play, because whether you realize it or not, you guys have made such a difference to me since this odyssey began. You know, when you're exhausted and you really don't want to function, and life is just this depressive thing that eats at you, and you log on and you see these colorful signatures, and the people behind them are people that you've come to really and truly love, and it's a feeling that I cannot even put into words. How much joy and strength I draw from them. So, you know, all of you that have done that, and just seeing that on my screen, thank you. You know, thank you for that, because it makes my day. It it just makes my day, and I don't think I would be in the state I am now if it wasn't for you. You know, you, each of you. So, thank you. And now we take a break because I have to wipe my face. Such is life. Alright, my other question was mentoring. Basically, what is it like, and is it really hard? And no, it's not. It's actually pretty easy because I was doing it before I became a mentor. And the only hard part about it is I get questions that I cannot answer by either nature of the forum from which they come, such as international incidents, or because I'm not familiar with it. And so I have a really good mentor team that I'm on, and I'm able to field those questions to those players, you know, those mentors, and not have to worry about it too much. But mentoring is not much different than what I was doing way back when. And that brings me to, where's the question? Some people that are not familiar with PL have wondered how I came to be part of it. Be part of it. I can't speak today. I'm just dropping every word and just rambling at you people. Ramble. NVE and I were part of the Disty banquet that Aggie touched upon in his video. And NVE is just, I love NVE. He's wild. So here we are at this banquet, and I noticed that NVE was part of this thread, and I decided to just follow NVE, and that's how I came to PL. And I'm so delighted that now, 2 years later, almost 3 years, Aggie comes back to Nation States, and he follows over to PL. So it's neat. It's really, really neat. To just look at full circle, you know, because I had just returned to Nation States when I joined Disty's banquet. Nesty questions. There's a bunch of nesty questions. There's a bunch of invasion questions, and I'm not going to answer the invasion questions. The only thing about them I will touch upon is that there is a difference between writing for a story and tabletop gaming. Now, when I do our big faction wars, I game with a group of people that are familiar with tabletop, and we play it out, and it's boring if you do not enjoy tabletop gaming. So yes, it is boring. We go by rounds and we have our equipment and our list and the dice and the blah 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 blah, but we don't write that. We play it out and then we go back and we write what was going on during that battle. And that's just a rare thing. I don't know if anybody else does that in the world, but when I war game, that is what I do. That is how we approach it. The other kind of wargaming, of course, is just the battles that Aggie had touched upon. And I'm not going to recap everything he said because he's freaking right. Just freaking listen to his video. He pegged it. I don't plan on doing wargaming with you people. It is not faction-based. It is character-based. And PL is a story-driven game where I'm not out to win. I'm out to add an element which allows the heroes to grow. You know, it's not my point to win. I never play to win when I'm storytelling. There's no sense in it because I'm fulfilling a role. I'm fulfilling the antagonist. I don't need to be the hero and I don't have to win. That's an ego thing. So please stop panicking over the invasion. It will be nothing like Danny's. I am not going to slaughter you with overwhelming forces. That Miss Swith don't roll that way. So take heart with that. Alrighty, Nesty. She's old. She's very, very, very old, and she has spent most of that life in circulation, meaning a exoskeleton. And she comes across as childlike due to that stunted social exposure. So she has hardly any actually, interaction with other people. She's very philosophical, and she's capable of holding intensive conversations because she had so much time sequestered to excuse me, I'm going to just break into stutters now. Pardon me, and do a tap dance along. No, she's yeah. People are unaware of her depth because she comes across as a child. She's very she's very inquisitive, and in many ways she was initially the embodiment of me. I was deep into my studies, I was deep into work, no time for socializing, no time for boyfriends or flirting. I'm demisexual, she's demisexual. She spent her out of circulation days, meaning out of that exoskeleton, sequencing DNA, and I spent my days poring over molecular chains. So there is much in common with my character and I. And right now she doesn't have a purpose, and that's because right now I don't have a purpose, and that's due to my illness. She wants so badly to be of use, but doesn't know where to begin, and Rodney won't assign her anything. And I want so badly to be of use, and I don't know where I would fit in at work, and right now I'm on leave, so they won't assign me. She's gone from her palest green color to pure white, and that's a manifestation of my leaving college and having to grow up a little. Now Nesty, aka Malice, she was a right shit in her earlier days, and that was by necessity and not always by desire. And she came from a very harsh way of existing. But now she's trying to come to terms with her past while allowing her more humanitarian side to come out. And she's naturally driven to explore, to heal, to help, to make harmony. And she can be fierce, but she's loyal. Her forms, that's another question. She has 3 main forms, although she's a polymorph, so she can assume others. So you have the 3 basic are human, lizard, and construct. Now construct is her rare true self. And human and lizard are the masks that we wear when we interact with others. She can look human, and she wears a human mask, but she doesn't know how to be human. And I don't know how many times you guys have been in that situation where you have had to wear a mask because you had to fit in. You didn't know how to be that way, but the mask helped you blend and get through it. And all this other psychological mumbo-jumbo that I'm just too tired to delve into tonight. So I'm going to leave the rest of your questions unanswered. I want to keep this under 16 minutes if possible. And I thank you for listening. And once again, I thank you with all my heart. I mean, from the wellspring of my existence, I thank you for being there for me and for supporting me. I love you guys. I do. And there you have it. And there it is.